What up, everybody? This is the third episode of It's Called Football, the Premier League podcast hosted by myself, Jerry Walker, and Jackson Fyda, bringing you all the latest and most in-depth news we can get on the English Premier League. Jackson, before we hop into match week 3, just completed, so we'll hop into some of that action, preview some of the stuff for this upcoming match week. But how are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
I'm good. Just got a shipment of jerseys in. Got Sheffield Wednesday on right now. Got a retro Thierry Henry Arsenal kit in the back. So great day to be a soccer fan for me. Got my kits in.
Absolutely. Is it one of the red Thierry Henry kits? One of the blue ones?
I can go grab. It's a red one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, flex it off on the camera right quick.
We got it right here.
Woo!
Yeah.
Very nice.
One of the O2 ones.
Yup. Love to see that. Well, that sounds like a good day for you already.
Yeah.
Couple new kits. Always a good thing. Do you want to hop into some of the matches from this past weekend? And we'll start with that team that Thierry Henry is representing there. Arsenal Fulham. Finished 2-2. And Jackson, you are the Arsenal fan. That was a bad start for them.
Yeah. It's that game was tough. And first of all, I missed the final bit because I had a game.
Ooh.
So I missed the final. Did I have a game or practice? I don't even remember. It's all blending together at this point. But I missed most of it actually. But I got to see Arsenal's up 2-1. I'm like, okay, we should be good. We're gonna be fine. Then they got a red card with Calvin Bassey. So I'm like, we're good. At that point, phone was down. I was focusing on my game, my soccer. I come back later and see it's 2-2. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that was my only reaction. Because, like, obviously we get scored on the first minute, which, I wasn't even up yet watching the game. I was trying to. I was a few minutes behind and we're already down 1-0. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're already down.
It was just a terrible mistake. It's just turned it over. And, I mean, first time shot by, what is it, Pereira?
Yeah, Saka decided to assist the other team on that one. What the hell was that?
I mean,
played him in on goal. And then Ramsdale was completely out of position as well. I mean, it's not really Ramsdale's fault because he was giving an angle for Saka to play it back to him. It's more of just an unfortunate situation that he was, like, in that position at all.
Yeah.
Dude, Saka, what the hell was that? Literally played him through on goal, and he never going to have an easier finish.
No, really wasn't. I mean, just kind of curled it in, and for the goal, it was like Ramsdale started going to his left, and the ball went to his right, and he just looked at it, and you could tell that he hid. He was like, well, it's in. So
yeah, so start out that way. Not great at all. Down 1-0 at half. We were definitely the better team. Like, it's not even a question. We had 72, like, at the end of the day, we had 72% possession compared to their 28%. That's domination. 19 shots compared to their 8, 11 of which were on target. And we did finally get our goals.
Yeah.
We did. It was Saka with the penalty. Makes up for the fact that I wouldn't say makes up for it, but a little goal scoring contribution.
Little redemption.
Yeah, a little redemption. And then Nketiah, 2 minutes later, makes it 2-1. So at that point, you're like, we're fine. And then 83rd minute, Calvin Bassey, who, by the way, was in to replace Tim Ream, who was on a red card at left center back. So interesting. New signing Bassey was in to replace Tim Ream, who got a red card the game before, gets a red card in the 83rd minute. So at that point, it should be done and dusted. And then João Palhinha in the 87th minute equalized. João Palhinha, like, he's a defender. Defensive midfielder / defender.
I mean, that's what happens. I assume you've seen the goal. Because it came off a corner and the ball just bounced to him and he just poked it through a mass crowd of people. And it's one of those things that looked like for a split second, Arsenal kind of checked out, and Palhinha made them pay.
I think we thought it was just over after the red card, which you would assume, as a player, as a fan, as Arteta, as a manager, you'd assume like, okay, we should have this wrapped up. But that's the thing about soccer; it's not done until it's done. It doesn't matter. It just takes one opportunity, one weird bounce, and just like that, the game can change, and it did. And I have not been impressed with Arsenal, to be honest, to start the year. Really have not. Didn't lose, did get a draw, so it's not like at the end of the world. But you should be winning that game
Oh, yeah.
6 days out of 7, any day of the week. Like,
You're at home. You're up 2-1 playing against 10 men. You just need to stay focused for that last 10 minutes or so, and you're golden. But they definitely checked out, and Fulham made them pay.
yeah, they did. Fair play to Fulham. I mean, I don't think they've looked that inspiring in any of their games so far. But to be fair, they've got 4 points.
Yeah.
3 games. Their only loss was to Brentford, another red card. But they beat Everton on the road, and they just drew Arsenal on the road. So, I mean,
I know it's not the Premier League, but they also just knocked Tottenham out of the Carabao Cup in the second round, winning on penalties yesterday.
yeah, there you go again. So they're just, fair play to Fulham. They're cooking, but
They do play Man City next, so we'll see. But
no way. They do have Tim Ream back for that, I think.
true.
I don't know if he got a multi-game suspension or not, honestly. But yeah, Fulham, fair play to them because they have not looked great, but they've been picking up results. Which, when you ride your luck long enough, eventually you'll come crumbling back down. But if you can figure it out, you can learn much more. I think you can learn the same amount from a win or a draw than you can from a loss in terms of your performance. So if you can get those results while not playing well, that's a huge thing because then you can learn from that just the same as you could from a loss. So if they can, build on those, that's a great start for Fulham. On the other side of the coin, Arsenal has not looked good. Speaking as an Arsenal fan, I just have not been impressed at all. I'm not even going to get started on Kai Havertz. That's post for another day or topic for another day. But
You see, Arsenal hasn't been playing well, which they really haven't. Still have 7 points, and this was the first blemish on their record after 2 wins.
Yeah, but we haven't looked good, in my opinion.
But
We played Forest, Palace, and Fulham. Didn't look convincing in any of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Forest almost pulled off a big win this weekend, which we'll get into in a little bit. But so that might not be as bad of a loss because they are a funky team, or as close of a game as a funky team. But still, wins are wins. You're looking at it because I'm thinking it's early in the season. You still have time to get everything going, everyone clicking. I wouldn't be too worried yet if I was Arsenal because, it's all about the second half of the season. We saw that last year. We've seen it in the past years. It's how you can play in that second half, and that's why City has won it the last few years because they just take off. That's something Arsenal needs to be more focused on this year instead of the first half, second half.
Mm. Yeah, they do. And again, you'd rather, like you said, pick up steam later on. But one thing you should know about Arsenal fans is we overreact to everything and are very, very self-hating. So right now, just not in a very good headspace when I've been watching what I've been seeing.
I can believe it. I will say, at least you're not a Leeds fan. Losing to League Two Salford yesterday on penalties, that was
Tough, dude.
tragic.
Yeah, that right there.
I wasn't surprised. It really, at this point, nothing can amaze me. 16 corners and no goals.
That's actually, I did not know that. That's great.
The stats were like 73% possession for Leeds, outshot them 9-2 on target, 16-2 on corners, and it finished 1-1 and went to penalties. It was,
dude.
It was one of those weird ones.
Yeah, fair play to Salford though.
I guess so.
But damn, dude.
it was rough. But back to the Premier League this past weekend. One of the teams we have been hyping up a ton so far has been Brighton. But god damn, West Ham came in, went into Brighton and just beat the living breaks off of them. 3-1 ultimately was the final result. James Ward-Prowse opened the scoring, getting his first goal of the season for West Ham. And the craziest thing to me is, have you seen the possession stats in this one?
Yes. Brighton dominated the game in that.
82%, 82% possession for Brighton, 18 for West Ham. Yet it finished 3-1 in the Hammers' favor because all three of their goals, they were clinical on the counterattack and really took advantage of it. I'm going to say that pass from Seg Benrahma for Bowen's goal, the second one to make it 2-0, absolutely beautiful ball, perfectly placed across the entire box, and he just had to one-touch it into the back of the net.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to go back to we kind of talked about earlier. It doesn't matter how much possession you have. What really matters is how you take care of those key moments. Say it's 78% possession. I think that's what Arsenal. No, I think we were 72. They had more possession against West Ham than Arsenal had against Fulham, and they lost 3-1, and we're down 3-0 at a single point. Like you said, though, West Ham was clinical, and that's what really matters. I'm kind of shocked Brighton wasn't more clinical because they have been looking so good offensively.
I mean, they even had 17 corners to West Ham's 4. Completely outshot them 25-12 with 10 and 7 on target each. So it's not like they weren't making their chances. They just weren't finding the back of the net.
I also find it interesting. Brighton had an 89% pass accuracy stat, and West Ham was 67. So I'm assuming Brighton was just keeping. I didn't actually watch the game. But I'm assuming they were just keeping. And West Ham was a little more direct, trying to just get the ball up the field. And when that happens, your pass percentage drops down. So I find that interesting, too, because that means that Brighton really was just controlling the flow of the game.
Oh, it really was. Brighton was just passing it around themselves, making West Ham kind of look silly. And then every once in a while, West Ham would get a tackle, get the ball back, and immediately start going up the field trying to counter one way or another. And it worked 3 times. So it's –
dude, listen to this stat.
Tactics to him, for him.
Dude, listen to this stat. 749 passes completed by Brighton to 208 by West Ham. That is crazy. That's almost 4 times as much.
That is actually – that's absurd.
That's insane. Huh. Dude, I mean, but like you said, West Ham's clinical. James Ward-Prowse. What a signing. What a signing.
He has been – I mean, we've both said it on this previous episodes of this show. He might be already the signing of the season, especially because that price tag of, what, 30, 40 million? It was –
30 million.
30 million was not bad business by the Hammers at all.
It's insanely good business.
So it just looks like that signing is going to get better and better. His first match, which was last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and now 2 assists, had a goal this past weekend. I was thinking there was going to be some drop-off by West Ham with Declan Rice left, but the way they have invested all that Declan Rice money has been superb, and this is just another one of those great signings. I'm excited to see how Mohamed Kudus fits into this West Ham side because that just adds even more depth to that midfield.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the Daily Show the other day, but they have far exceeded our expectations for what they would do, especially in their midfield with the loss of Declan Rice. But you get Ward-Prowse, you get Edson Alvarez, you get Kudus, you keep Paqueta, and you have Souček as well, who can do bits in the midfield. Yep. They've got a very, very good midfield, remarkably good, all things considered. I think they came out on the better end of the Declan Rice deal. I really do. And I'm happy Arsenal got Declan Rice. But when you get that much money and you're able to invest it smartly like they did, so you maybe get someone who's not as good as Rice, like Alvarez, but then you complement it with James Ward-Prowse and now Mohamed Kudus, who can play a myriad of positions. I might rather take that.
It might have been – we've talked about in other sports, you talk about who's the winners and losers of trades. Looks like West Ham's the winner of this deal at the moment.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as Brighton goes, that was just to an extent, there's nothing else they could have really done except for put the ball in the back of the net. That was it. They did everything else they needed. It just wasn't to be this time for that front four of Solly Marsh, Welbeck, Mitoma, and Evan Ferguson this week.
Hey,
Can't win it all. Can't win them all. It was Pascal Gross scored in the 81st minute, a consolation goal, really. So it wasn't anything too special there.
Yeah, I just expected more from Brighton. I expected more. I could see them getting scored on, but I just expected more potency in their attack, considering what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But I mean, fair play to West Ham. They defended their asses off. Um, Areola and goal, man. I mean, how many saves did he have to make? Did he have to make? He had to make, okay, 9.
Yeah, 9 saves.
But that's a pretty damn good day. So for a keeper, that's a damn good day. So yeah, they did what they had to do, and they got a great win. West Ham off to a flying start, I'd say.
Yeah, as of at that point, because they played Saturday, West Ham was sitting atop of the table ahead of everybody else. Tottenham was right behind them with the same points, same goal difference, but less goals scored. So every little bit counts. They didn't have that lead in the table for very long, as Man City did play on Saturday or Sunday against Sheffield United, and that was a little close for a little too close for comfort, I would say, for Man City. Don't know. Did you see the highlights of this one or watch that match?
We were keeping track of it again, games and practice and stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
I love soccer, but God, I miss out on so much viewing. But
give you the rundown of kind of what happened. Erling Haaland has a penalty kick in the first half.
Saw this.
Mashes it off the post. It's one of those ones that 9 times out of 10 he's scoring. Goalkeeper went completely the wrong direction, and he just thumped it off the inside of the post, and it went away. There's no luck there for him. He did eventually get a goal on a leaping header.
Because he
kind of mossed his defender and just headed it down. But that made it 1-1 or 1-0 in the second half, and then Bogle for Sheffield United in the 85th minute scored an equalizer. One of those ones kind of pokes it by everybody, just ball fell to him, hit it right. Little deflection on there that kind of put it past the City goalkeeper. Wasn't anything too special, but Rodri's goal, it didn't take much longer. It was 3 more minutes, the 88th minute. Did you see Rodri's goal?
No, I didn't. Again,
no. I just didn't know if you had or not. You know how his goal in the Champions League was a lightning bolt?
Oh, it's like that.
This was more impressive than that. It went absolute top bins, first time just strike. No goalkeeper in the world had any chance at saving it, and that gave Man City the 2-1 lead and ultimately the victory in the 88th minute. Pretty good, and especially considering Phil Foden got the assist on that, and he came on 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Fair play. Rodri's got that in his
he strictly scores bangers, I think.
Yeah, you never see like a Rodri tap in. You rarely see Rodri headers. It's always some rifled shot that's low and just rising slightly the whole time, right into the net.
Yep. I mean, it really was. And I will say, looking at stats-wise, this was pure domination from City. It's amazing it was only 2-1. Just going to touch on a couple of them. 79, more or less 80% possession City. 9 shots on target to Sheffield's 2. 30 shots in total to Sheffield United 6. Corners 12-1. It was just absolute domination by Man City once again, and I was very, very surprised that it only finished 2-1. They hit the post multiple other times, and this one had the potential to get out of hand and realistically end like 4 or 5-1.
Yeah, but this goes to show that City is human. And they can lose games. It just sucks that all these things have to happen against a team as inept as Sheffield United.
Yep.
Which, first of all, I'm going to be an American homer here. Start Austin Trusty, you cowards. I want to see him playing games in the Premier League. But beside the point, why couldn't this have happened against like a good team? Because against a good team, they're going to be like ready to go and finish damn near everything. Haaland missing penalties, them hitting posts. I mean,
it's if that was against Arsenal, it would have they would have or would have scored more of their opportunities. You just know it would have if it was Man U, same thing, Liverpool,
Yeah, they were
Newcastle.
5. But yeah, against Sheffield United somehow they can only score 2. One of which is an 88th minute apparent cracker from Rodri when the score was 1-1. Still though, signs that City is in fact human. Erling Haaland is in fact a human, even though he did score a goal. But nonetheless, they are beatable. We just need God to just keep doing his thing, please. I mean, to be fair, imagine you're like, God, you're giving Sheffield United all the hope in the world and they still can't get the result. You're like,
It is also newly promoted Sheffield United, so we gotta cut them some slack maybe. But
no.
Still, they had their moment and couldn't take advantage of all the Man City mishaps.
Jayden Bogle. Do you know much about Jayden Bogle? I know nothing about Jayden Bogle.
I do not know anything about Jayden Bogle.
But he does have a goal against Man City under his belt now, so
he does indeed. Yeah, this was the kind of match that in the first up until Rodri's goal that reminded me of the Leeds and Man City match. The first year Leeds were promoted, it was COVID, and it took a late goal by Leeds to end up winning at the Etihad 2-1 as a newly promoted team, because that was the match that Man City dominated. Everything went their way. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Similar to this, posts got in the way, missed penalties, sort of stuff. And Leeds at that point took advantage. That's something that we almost saw Sheffield United take advantage of this weekend, but
yeah,
wasn't to be.
Yeah, no, it wasn't to be. Hey, they played better than I thought they would, though. I don't know what we called, but I think we predicted they'd get run off the pitch. So to make it 1-1 and lose an 88th minute Rodri banger, that's something you can very easily build on.
Yeah, exactly. Especially considering that they have a very big match coming up this weekend, which we'll get into all this upcoming weekend's matches in a little bit. We have 1 or 2 more still to go over that at least I'd like to touch on. And moving on to the next one, it is that Newcastle and Liverpool match. That was tale of two halves. We'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
First half, Newcastle get a 1-0 lead off an Anthony Gordon goal, which, God, another terrible mistake. Similar to how Bukayo Saka made a terrible mistake, Trent Alexander-Arnold also made a mistake, and Anthony Gordon just blew past the rest of the Liverpool defense and made him pay. He realistically could have had a second one in that first half. It was just missed wide. And then Virgil van Dijk, only 3 minutes after the goal by Gordon, was shown a red card. 28th minute.
What do you think about that call on the red? Because again, I was able to watch the first half, second half I had to go. What do you think about that?
It did seem Isak had the possession and Van Dijk was behind him as the last defender. From that aspect, I get it. I guess it has to be a red. Yeah. But I really don't think the tackle itself was red card worthy. I think it was more the situation where they were on the field and all that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely harsh. Sorry, roommate walked in. Definitely harsh to give that red, in my opinion, because it just wasn't a red card worthy tackle, you know. And like you said, you're on top of the box, last man, but they always find some way to argue that someone could come and cover. You know, it feels like there always is that kind of argument. So I just felt like it was harsh, you know, because he was trying to get the ball. Like, he wasn't maliciously trying to kick him. He went to the back of him. It was a foul. I think a yellow would have sufficed. I really do. I think a red was very, very harsh.
Yeah, it's all right. I just saw news that, this Luis Rubiales, his mom was she's now going to the hospital after her hunger strike. Beside the point. That's so harsh. I understand it on one half, but like you were saying, you can always argue that someone was coming to cover. And then that just put Liverpool in a bad situation. I thought after that it was going to kind of be a Newcastle drubbing because they had looked good in that entire first half and really should have scored more than once. But they didn't. And really, it didn't look like much was changing in that second half until 77th minute. Darwin Nunez comes on in replace of Alexi McAllister. Scores once in the 81st minute to equalize it. Pretty much scores an identical goal in the 93rd minute to win it for Liverpool. And what a statement win for these 10 men of the Merseyside club, taking down Newcastle on the road 2-1. Darwin Nunez has so much pace. He plays the right position. He's just struggled at times with the final product.
Mm-hmm.
This time he did not. Blew down the right wing both times, passed the left backs, and just slotted it past Nick Pope with ease, pretty much.
Yeah, and this is what Nunez can do.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans have been wanting to see from him. I've been saying for a while now that he's absolutely terrible. I don't rate him at all. But when he does get it right, I will be the first to hold my hands up and say he's a damn good player. When he gets it right, and he did today. His pace, or not today, but on the game day, his pace is electric. His energy is crazy, by the way. I will always say that for players like him, like Timo Werner when he's going through his issues. When you have that energy as well, you will still get fans to like you, and stuff will eventually fall your way, even when you're in bad form. He has that, and he has the technical ability as well. He's got very good technical ability. I just think his confidence has been shot, and I don't think his finishing is very good at all, to be honest. But 2 goals, down a man, on the road, at arguably one of the hardest environments to play in the Prem, if not the hardest right now, because St. James Park goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It goes crazy.
So big, so loud.
Yeah. So to do that and score 2 goals for your team, starting in the 81st minute to get you guys a massive win, that's huge because Liverpool hasn't looked very good at all. We've been talking about that for 2 games, and it looked like more of the same in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looked actually worse. But then out of nowhere, you get a result on the road against a very elite Newcastle team who I have been praising for their defensive stoutness.
Let's say Newcastle team that held Man City to 1 goal last week, the weekend before.
And killed Aston Villa. So this is huge for Liverpool. It's huge for him. It's huge for Klopp, huge for the players. And I wonder if Salah maybe in his mind is thinking, okay, maybe I can stick around now.
I still do completely believe that he will stay in Liverpool.
I agree.
I do think that these last couple wins and the way everything's kind of picking itself together a little bit. And I mean, he had the assist in the last minute for that winner, so he's still getting his name on the score sheet somehow. It's maybe things are turning around for Liverpool. We shall see. It is only the 3rd week of the season.
Yeah.
Jackson, one more match I want to kind of just briefly touch on before we move into these upcoming matches. Man United, Nottingham Forest. Man U got off to a amazing start. Let's put it that way. 2 minutes in, Forest get the lead with Tau Awoniyi getting his third goal of the season already. 2 minutes later, Willy Bolly makes it 2-0 Forest at the Theatre of Dreams. Fortunately, though, Man United was able to make a comeback. Christian Eriksen got a goal. Casemiro got a goal. And then, in my opinion, one of the most overrated midfielders, Bruno Fernandes, gets a penalty like he always does.
Of course.
Like he always does. And Man United ultimately win 3-2. I was so optimistic and hopeful after seeing Forest go up 2-0 in the first 4 minutes, but
yeah.
And you.
It's hard at Old Trafford, and I really feel for Matt Turner on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 shots on target, and you end up conceding 3. Third. Not great. But yeah, Forest, man, it looked so promising for them. 2-0 up in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. The most important bits of game, I feel like, for any team in any game the first 5 minutes of each half and the last 5 minutes of each half, that's when teams are either not checked in, like start of the game, start of second half, or you're checking out, like Arsenal did. So though that period's huge, and Forest took full advantage. United obviously was taking this game a little lightly, and you get Taiwo Awoniyi, 2nd minute, and then Willy Bolly in the 4th minute. Just like that, you're down 2-0. I will give Man U an incredible amount of praise, though, for their ability to fight back, because going down 2-0 in the first 5 minutes,
That can be so demoralizing.
it's mentally just draining on you, because you're like, shit, not only do we have to score 3 goals, but we let them score 2 on us in the first 5 minutes, and that means they can score more.
Yep.
So, Ericsson's goal is definitely huge, because then you get the 1 goal back, and once you get 1, you're like, okay, we can go and get 2. And it took them a little bit, but they got the second, and once you get the second, you're like, okay, especially because Forrest got a red card with Joe Worrell in the 67th, you're like, okay, we're going to get the 3rd. And they did get the 3rd. So, that's a great win for United in that sense. It's not great that they got scored on twice by Forest, or that they were down 2-0, or that both goals came in the first 5 minutes. That is terrible. And that's something they need to iron out. But the fact that they're able to come back from 2 goals down, have 3 different goal scorers as well, which is good. It's a great sign for them. And again, you want better, but honestly, it's a good win for Ten Hag, all things considered. They definitely were feeling good after that win, rather than just like, oh, we could have done better.
Yeah, it's definitely a confidence booster, even if you started out that poorly against the Nottingham Forest side at home. To fight back and get the 3-2 win was big, especially ahead of their match this upcoming weekend, which you and I agreed this was our match of the week. Man United going to the Emirates to take on Arsenal. And the big thing for me from that past Forest match, sure as it's a momentum booster, but Man United will be without Rafael Varane for this match against Arsenal. That's a big loss. I will put it that way, because then now you're reliant on either Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof to step into that. We've already seen Luke Shaw's out with an injury at the moment, so that defense is looking a little shaky, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully Arsenal is able to take advantage of that. Will we? I think we will. I like our offense. I really do. I think our attack right now is looking very good. So I think we will take advantage of that for sure. And Kedia's look good. Saka, when he's not playing through balls, the other team has looked very good. I want to see a little bit more from Martinelli again, but I think he still looked good. And Trossard, I really like him coming off the bench as well. I'm not going to put Kai Havertz in that conversation. Have not been impressed with him at all. But everyone else, and Odegaard as well, can't forget about Martin Odegaard, has looked very good in Arsenal's attack. So that's good, because Man U, obviously, like you said, the defense is looking a little shaky. No Varane, he's their best center back. He's their best defender.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge loss for him. Here, what were you gonna say?
I say no Varane and no Luke Shaw, who he's one of the guys who he might not get as much recognition defensively as he does play that outside back, but he's one of those super pacey guys that could keep up with the likes of Martinelli or Saka on the wings, and just kind of slow him down in that aspect, because that's when Arsenal to me is the most dangerous, is when they're running and gunning and taking you out of the way with their pace up the sides, and then getting good balls into the middle, and having Jesus or Nketiah there to finish them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I find this interesting that suddenly Man U looks like they're in for Cucurella. But anyway, going back to this. Yeah, huge losses defensively for them. I think Lissandro Martinez is good, but I don't know. He always pisses me off. He reminds me of a Chihuahua who barks too much. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Annoys the shit out of me. But he is good, but like without Varane, who are you gonna play in there? That's gonna give you the confidence that you need to have in the back line. I will say Arsenal's back line, I have not been impressed with at all. I really haven't. Don't even get me started on Tomiyasu. Don't even get me started on what he does when he's in there. But when Timber got hurt, it just I don't know, man. I want to see Gabriel back in the lineup.
Yeah.
I want to see him back. And I'd rather see Zinchenko than like Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
Out wide. I don't know what Arteta's doing with the back line right now. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I'd rather go back 4 with Saliba on the right, Gabriel on the left, Zinchenko left back, Ben White right back. I don't know why we suddenly are doing what we're doing. It's like a 3-back, Saliba in the center, so-and-so on the left, and then Ben White on the right. And we had Tomiyasu playing out there. It was an absolute travesty. But I don't know. Our Arsenal hasn't looked great defensively, in my opinion.
No, definitely haven't. And I mean, on the site I used to look at lineups and stuff in preparation for this, I had Thomas Partey playing as right back as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if he actually was this weekend. It was looking like it was the back 4 of Partey on the right, Ben White, William Saliba in the middle, and Jacob Kiwior.
Yeah, Kiwior. I couldn't even think of his name.
It was like
Jacob Kiwior playing. Why not Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabriel on the outside. And like you said, to me, Thomas Partey's more of a midfielder. He's not a right back. Even if he was playing kind of that midfielder role, I'm solely going off what I've been seeing. The position
he's stepping up more, but
why not put Zinchenko in there?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly the position he was playing at Man City when he was playing. And even he did that for Arsenal last year, was play that outside back role and kind of still can use his pace up and down the wings to help out offensively in the attack, but also get back in defense. Because if you're giving up 2 goals to Fulham, nothing against Fulham, but with some super sloppy defense, that was bad.
Yeah, and again, I guess it's not a back 3 like I was saying. It just feels that way because Partey will step up more, you know? He goes up more, and he's playing at the right back, which is crazy to me that we're doing that because I don't get why Gabriel isn't playing and why if you're okay, fine, you want Ben White playing the center back right now? Fine, why not put Gabriel left back? Why are we playing Kiwior? You know?
Yep.
I think I found a stat. Gabriel had, 70? He had started 73 consecutive Premier League matches before this year. Like, he has been at the center of our defense. He and Saliba last year were an absolutely solid center back partnership. I don't get why you change it. And again, dude, Partey at right back. Is he that important? Is he that important? I would much rather have Gabriel on the field than Thomas Partey.
I would argue in that as well. And maybe like Partey's the kind of guy you bring on in the second half to try and be that impactful sub even and just get that extra run in or even because he's been so poor so far. Throw Partey in the midfield and put Kai Havertz on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know if Arteta's trying to be like Pep. You know how Stones plays defensively but then goes into the midfield because that's what Partey's been doing.
Yeah,
need the right back, but then Thomas Partey will move into the midfield. So it's like we're playing a back 3 and then shift back. I don't know if that's a new rave in top level football. It shouldn't be. I think that's stupid. I really don't. I mean, it works if you have the people to do it, but I don't think it's working for us.
No, I don't think there's a difference between the players Man City have and the players Arsenal have in terms of, and also the tactical style. They've been doing it for a while. Arsenal seems like they're just this season through 3 matches trying to change what worked for them last year. For the most part.
And like you said earlier, if you're going to do it, why not use Zinchenko? Why wouldn't you use Zinchenko? Have Gabriel play the left center back, Saliba the right center back, Ben White the right back. So then those become your back 3, and Zinchenko goes into the midfield. Why wouldn't you do that? That makes way more sense if you're going to go that route. Instead of, let's play Thomas Partey, who he's good. He's a very good player, but I'd much rather see other people on the field, especially in the back line or in and around the back line than Thomas Partey.
I agree. I think there are other options, but Jackson, looking at this match, this will be happening Sunday afternoon, 11:30 Eastern time. What is your prediction? Who takes this one home?
I'm going to back Arsenal. We're at home. but we get scored on 2-1.
2-1 Arsenal. Okay. With a Thomas Partey goal from right back.
Of course. Now and Tomiyasu will somehow get an assist as well.
Exactly. Heard it there. No, I do think, or if anyone's going to win, it will be Arsenal, but I'm kind of leading this one to be a draw. I think somehow, some way, it'll be like 2-2 again, or
Yeah, I can see that.
a very sloppy 1-1. So I'm going to go with the draw here, as much as that hurts me to say. But
Yeah, I could see that. And
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah.
Arsenal self-hate's already kicking in.
Oh, dude, you're telling me. Look at those clowns also right there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, again, every time I complain, I just gotta remember Jerry's a Leeds fan. Jerry's a Leeds fan.
I mean, you're a Wednesday fan, so it's not exactly a good start there either.
Hey.
We just love choosing teams that just hurt us.
Yeah, that's been my life.
It really is. Teams that are getting hurt at the moment, though, those bottom 4 in the Premier League. Luton, Sheffield United, Everton, and Burnley all have yet to get a point.
Mm-hmm.
Everton, this is the first time in their history that they have lost the first 3 matches of a Premier League season. They've also yet to score. I just want to look at these 3 matches that involve these teams. It's Luton Town finally having a home match in the Premier League against West Ham. Crowd will be ready for that one. Sheffield United taking on Everton at home, and then Burnley hosting Tottenham. Which one? Clearly, one of these teams is going to get their first points of the season, mostly because we see Sheffield playing Everton. But who do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be one of the besides one of those two? You think Burnley or Luton have any hope in hell against their London teams?
Luton now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Luton now. West Ham looks so good.
Oh, I know.
Burnley has more of a shot, but no, I don't think I when I'm looking back at this, I gave Burnley too much credit. I gave Everton too much credit.
Yeah.
Again, we're only 3 games in, but I feel like I gave those 2 teams too much credit. I thought Company would have it figured out. I thought they were incredible in the championship. I thought they brought in some good players. But honestly, I was shocked when I saw Luka Kaliosho starting their first game of the season. And I guess if that's the route you're going to go, you're probably not going to score a lot of goals when you have an inexperienced, I don't know if he's 18 or 19-year-old, American, Canadian, Italian dual nationals, played for Espanyol's youth teams for most of his life, starting up top. So I guess I overhype Burnley too much in my head right now. Maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe they won't. But Everton as well, I thought they were going to maybe start figuring it out. I think when you flirt that closely, but you still don't get relegated because they've seemed to hold on every single year just by a thread recently. I thought they would have it figured out and not be great, but not be in the situation they're at now. But yeah, dude, they've been the worst out of all teams in the Prem right now. 0 goals for, 6 conceded.
Yeah.
I gave them too much credit as well. Luton has done exactly what I expected and what I think everyone's expected. Sheffield United as well. Sheffield United's also had some tougher games, you'd have to say, especially when you look at the Man City game last week. I mean, I guess they did play Forest and Palace as well, but you got to count every or every Man City game as a loss for these teams.
It doesn't matter. I don't think we expect any of these 3 teams to beat, or any of these 4 teams to really beat Man City. But the way they've been playing, especially Everton, the way they've been playing is just atrocious.
Yeah, that's the one you really expect more. You know, the other 3 teams are newly promoted.
Yeah.
You know what? This will happen. It's a culture shock. You're suddenly in the Prem going to these insane environments against the best players in the world. Understandable. If you're Everton, though, what's your excuse? Calvert-Lewin got hurt? Okay, that's why you have a transfer window. Go out and get somebody. You know, I don't know what their excuse is anymore. How can Everton – you play well the first game, but you still lose to Fulham, and ever since then you've looked terrible. Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes to just completely demoralize you? Because that's terrible.
Yep. It's they're all in a bad state. All of these clubs, and this is what I know. I mentioned in our Vendetta Sports Media Premier League preseason roundtable. It was like none of these teams have really made any impact signings. Biggest signing Luton's made was getting Ross Barkley,
Dude,
who
which is
I really thought was retired at that point.
you forgot he existed.
Until I saw his name there, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Sheffield United done jack shit. Everton the same. Burnley just hasn't done it.
Like, I guess not the right signing. Like I thought Sander Berg might make a difference.
That's very true. With that being said, Luton and Burnley have also only played 2 matches. They were scheduled to play each other, but Kenilworth Road was not ready. Luton's home ground. It is now. I'm excited for that. I'll put it that way, away from a little bit of the negativity towards how bad these teams have been. Seeing that stadium for a Premier League match, it's going to be fun to see.
Oh, it's going to be awesome, dude. That if I could, again, away day, that would be one of the spots, man, because that's just like one of the coolest venues, I think, in world football right now at a top level.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, it's just so to me, it's just so unique of a ground. Because I mean, for those who don't know, it's pretty much in someone's. You pretty much walk through someone's backyard. I think that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, like through their garden, their back garden.
Yeah. So it's a really unique, really cool stadium, and they were playing host to Gillingham yesterday, won 3-2 in the Caribou Cup. Now hosting the mighty West Ham, champions of Europe, West Ham. On Friday, 3:00 Eastern time. I know I'm going to be watching. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to try and have it on while we have all this transfer talk. But
dude, yeah, we're in for a fun day. Hey, reinforcement though. Thank you.
Reinforcement has come.
You finally delivered.
Yep, and we will make sure we get that reinforcement on this show at some point. I mean, what we're hearing is this new kid is a part of our soccer/football coverage team.
He's an Arsenal fan too.
Oh,
yeah, I found that out when I was talking to him earlier.
Okay.
A fellow Gunner.
Love to hear that. So we'll get him on this show at some point. But Jackson, I do want to touch briefly on a couple more matches. Guess we'll do predictions real quick on these. Luton, West Ham. I have West Ham winning 3-0.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think 3-0 works for me. Maybe a random Luton goal.
Okay, I can see 3-1.
Yeah, I'll go 3-1. I just feel like they've got some random set piece offense that goes in, but 3-1.
And I will say they've been good at home. They're unbeaten in their last 8 at home. Obviously, that was in the Championship and Cups, not in the Premier League. Different story. Sheffield United hosting Everton. Does Everton finally get a goal?
No.
I agree. I think not also.
I don't think they do. I was thinking, I was like, maybe. Nah, I think they lose 1-0.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do think it's 1-0. I think still without DCL, I don't see anyone really stepping up for Everton to score. And
dude, they're bad.
It's an issue. I thought they were actually going to come out with some fight after last season's survival, but there's been no fight, nothing going their way.
Yeah, dude, they're just bad. They're
last one, Burnley, Tottenham. Burnley's given up 3 goals in really their 2 Premier League matches, but their last 3 matches overall, losing to Mainz in the summer in a friendly. Do they concede 3? What do you have as your score?
I'm going 2-0 Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham?
No.
No, I think I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. I do think Burnley might get on the score sheet. I do think they will. More, I think it'll be a Tottenham error in the back that allows them to. I'll put it that way.
What do you think about Tottenham right now?
They've looked good. James Maddison has looked very good.
Yeah.
But it was against Bournemouth this weekend. And we've talked about how iffy Man U is, and Brentford. Brentford seems like they might be the most irrelevant team in the Premier League this year. through 3 weekends. Them, Crystal Palace, they kind of just seem like they're there. Nothing's really happening. They're kind of
they're as mid-table, non-interesting like feeling of a team. Yeah, I agree. Without Ivan Toney as well, it kind of just
it's just
yeah.
they're just there. But I mean, hey, props to Tottenham. They're doing what they need to do. Did get the 2 goals this weekend. James Madison scored. Kulieski scored as well. So
I'm gonna keep patting myself on the back. That was my prediction for signing of the season. So if he keeps performing, the more I look like a prophet.
yeah, James Madison. He's been superb for him. I do like what Tottenham's been doing, and I think they do have a couple more good matches in their favor. They're at Burnley this weekend, obviously, and home to Sheffield United the following.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets a little interesting. At Arsenal, home to Liverpool, and then back to kind of those mid-table teams. But that 2-match stretch of away to the Gunners, that North London derby, and then home to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We'll learn a lot more in those 2 matches than we have any of the other ones so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That 2-0 win over Man U, there was an own goal, some bad defending on the Man U side of things, but
yeah, I mean, you still got to get the win though, so they did.
Have you been surprised by them, or you think they're kind of just doing what's expected so far?
I think they've looked better than I thought they would.
Okay.
I like Mickey Van de Ven. I like him a lot.
Scored a goal yesterday. Might have been an own goal, but still a goal.
Yeah, that game wasn't great for him. But
I'm also kidding. It's a cup tie. Cup ties don't count for anything Premier League related.
Yeah, but I mean, they are still games. So. Richarlison scored, which, wow.
Case in point right there. It's a cup game.
Never happens in the Prem. Never will happen in the Prem.
Exactly.
They look better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
I like what Ange is doing. Postecoglou.
I do think he's a very, very good manager, and he seems to win everywhere he goes so far.
And
Ozzy.
Postecoglou. That's how you say it, right? Postecoglou. But yeah, I think he's done a good job so far.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what happens. Do I think Tottenham will win any sort of trophy this year?
No.
They're out of 1 cup already. 2 more. They're done for. I don't think
you can't bank on them winning one. No, you can't.
There was that. What was it? Harry Kane's now left, and he's never won a trophy. Who is it? Was it Kingsley Coman who's at Bayern still? Who's won a trophy every year of his career?
Every year.
Every
year he's been there, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think every year of his career. He
at
G as well.
Yeah, you're right.
There was jokes going around that either Harry Kane's finally going to win a trophy and end his trophy-less drought, or Kingsley Coman is going to lose and end his trophy winning or success. I would lean, it's Bayern Munich, I'd lean towards Harry Kane winning a trophy than
you have to figure, although they already failed at their first chance.
I know. That was so fun. And they failed in drastic fashion.
Danny Olmo. Woo! Wow.
Danny Olmo with a hat trick.
That's one goal where that turn was actually world class. I know City wanted him for a bit. I'm shocked he's still there.
Yeah. I am as well. Doing it quickly because we're at like 54 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Brighton and Newcastle, expectations, predictions. What are you thinking in this one? Because both teams come off tough losses this past weekend.
Yeah, games where they definitely were the better team in terms of stats. But yeah, didn't get the results. I feel like Newcastle's has to be more heartbreaking. I mean, Brighton, at least, like, they were down 3-0, made it 3-1, and they were the better team on the front foot, but it wasn't ever like you were winning. Newcastle, you're winning, you're up a guy, and then a dude who doesn't score goals scores 2 on you. Like, that's got to be as demoralizing, like, a thing as possible. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what their reaction will be. I'm liking Brighton. I still think the way De Zerbi has him going in attack works. I'm curious to see if the West Ham game was an anomaly or not, where they have all that possession, they have these shots, but they can't score. I'm liking Brighton at home. I am. I think I'll go 2-1.
2-1 Brighton.
Brighton Matoma gets a goal.
Okay. Don't hate that pick. For me, this is a must-win for Newcastle, really, to kind of get themselves going again. After a great first day, winning 5-1 at home to Villa, they go and lose 2 straight, lose 1-0 to Man City, which that was deserving. They did not deserve to win that one. Then really should have won against Liverpool this weekend. They need a win, and I think they will come through the one. I'm expecting a big game from Alexander Isak. I do think Anthony Gordon will get on the score sheet, whether it's a goal or an assist. I think he will have another big, impactful match. And I'm backing Newcastle to win this one probably. I think I'm going to go 3-2. I think this is going to be probably one of the more exciting matches we've had so far this season because both teams like going forward. Both teams good defensively, but give up plays on the counter. And I think that we're in for an exciting one. Bold prediction would be a Kieran Trippier set piece goal. Just throw that in there. Those would be mine.
Bold, but that's really not out of the question.
It's not out of the question by any means, but it's more. I don't know if they'll actually get any real close set pieces. So
yeah,
more my prediction. So I am going to take Newcastle 3-2 in this one.
Yeah.
Only other one I kind of want to just touch briefly on because both teams won this past weekend and are kind of right around that same part of the table. Aston Villa and Liverpool. Aston Villa will be traveling to Liverpool this weekend. What do you look for? Because Liverpool is going to be without Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, which is huge.
And that's a big loss. Aston Villa got back to winning ways, beating Burnley 3-1, and it was Matty Cash double. Diaby had a goal as well. And they just look so inconsistent at times.
Yeah, it feels like all the pieces are there for Villa. They just have to consistently get it going and working. Maybe the win at Burnley will give them that confidence. But you are going to Anfield, which we talk about it. Tough environments to play in, man. That's right there. That actually might be number one. So yeah, if Liverpool had Van Dijk, it definitely would be saying Liverpool right now. But without Van Dijk, you're gonna play Joe Gomez. That's something that Moussa Diaby could have a field day with. That's something that Leon Bailey could have a field day with. That's something Aston Villa could have a field day with.
Yeah.
So this one's interesting because I honestly don't have any way I'm feeling in my mind. I could see it going either way. But I do feel like it'll be either Liverpool kills them or Aston Villa wins in a relatively close game. I don't think it'll be anything else. I think it's either Aston Villa wins in a close game or Liverpool blows them out of the park.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I can see that. I will say Aston Villa have been killed by the injury bug at the moment. That's my one concern for them. Emiliano Martinez was out the last match. Tyrone Mings still.
Yeah.
Philip Coutinho is now out. They've been beaten up. Then Docker's out still. But they've been on a tear. That's where I'm at. They're missing all these key players. This will be the first real test. They lost, as you know, you got smacked by Newcastle 5-1. Since then, they won 4-0 against Everton, 5-0 against Hibernian in their UEFA Conference League qualification, and then 3-1 against Burnley. I do think Aston Villa can get this done.
Mm-hmm.
At Liverpool is my big question. It's the fact that if this was at Villa, I think I'd probably back Villa. Most likely, but it's the fact that they're playing at Anfield. Maybe Nunez now has the momentum going and he can get another one. Well, I don't think so, but you never know. It is still Nunez. Can't get carried away after one match. But the lack of Virgil van Dijk, the way they've been playing forward at the moment, I think this will end up similar to what you said. I could see it being like 3-0 Liverpool, but I realistically think it'll be like 2-1, maybe 2-all.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Liverpool will get it done somehow, some way. They just seem to find ways to win these kind of games with all the odds kind of stacked against them a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that point. I do think you have to lean Liverpool for sure. I think Liverpool wins. I just don't know how. I guess I do think they will end up winning by a few goals. But this game is kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it in particular, because without Van Dijk, that just makes everything so interesting. Because Joe Gomez, oh my God. If that's what they go with, then that'll be interesting.
It's a very different defensive mindset because, we've seen Trent make so many mistakes this season already that Van Dijk has been there to cover up for him and kind of save the day. He's not there now. Will Joe Gomez be able to do the same? I'm not really sure he is. But Jackson, that kind of wraps up this episode. I will just run through the other matches. If there's anything you want to say on any of these other ones, feel free to hop in. Brentford hosting Bournemouth on Saturday. Chelsea hosting Forest. Man City hosting Fulham. That wraps up the Saturday fixtures, apart from the ones we've spoken about. Sunday, outside of our match of the week, Arsenal, Man United, and then Liverpool, Villa. We have Crystal Palace against Wolverhampton on the early match that day. None of these ones really excite me that much. I will say Forest is going to get the win at Chelsea. That might be my bold prediction for the week.
Fair enough.
But I think somehow, some way, Forest will get it done there.
I like that. Go Matty Turner.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Chelsea's good. That's an interesting one because you wonder if Chelsea's finally got things going. But yeah, that's what everyone is saying. They're like, "Oh, look, they're back, Nicholas Jackson." But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see.
Bold predictions for this week.
Bold predictions. Nothing's really popping out in my mind. I guess bold prediction. Luton scores the best goal of the week, but loses.
Okay.
I could see that.
They score the banger of the week. And
yeah, they do something incredible, but lose.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a solid one because, if they do score a banger, Kenilworth Road is going to go absolutely insane. So we'll pull for that. Jackson, any final words? Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Be sure to check out our soccer page because we got transfers coming up. Going to do a transfer weekly update on Thursday to see all the ones before deadline day, and then we'll have deadline day. So
make sure you guys are tuned in on Friday. Either it's going to be on the Vendetta Sports Media Daily Show, or Jackson and I may just do a hour-long special. We're still trying to work out times if we're able to get to it all or not, because we are both very busy outside of this. Hopefully we can, because Jackson, I think we have a lot to talk about on Friday for the final day of the transfer window, which will be exciting. Next week's episode of this show will be a lot of transfer talks, a lot of match talks. So
maybe we could get Kabir on too.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We'll get us a three-way screen going, maybe get someone else, maybe Bagdonis will hop on, or Cervantes.
Trey, get anyone, yeah.
Anyone who wants to talk some football transfers.
I could put that in the soccer chat and we'll see.
Really, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for our episode next week and have a good weekend enjoying some great football. A lot of good matches in the Premier League. Best match of the weekend, though, I think Jackson and I can agree on this. Sheffield Wednesday, Leeds United, be there or be square.
Oh, baby, right here.